Martin said. So my journey began, I think about 6-7 years ago in 2008. I was just a typical Year 7 student in high school, hung out with my mates, argued with my parents, just thought I was better than everyone else really. But unfortunately I suffered really bad anger management problems, and at that point in time I didn't know how to control it. I'd be in class with teachers or even my mates and they'd ask me to do something and I'd just, nah, F off, don't talk to me, storm out of class. Stuff just wasn't working. It's just me and my mum at home, so it's sort of a single parent home. My dad lives away, so I don't see him as much, so I didn't really have that male role model to talk to, go out and do stuff with, call up when I need help with girls. But that's sort of when my mum came in. But of course, being a teenager, having anger management problems, not being able to handle it, of course, I'd argue with my mum over the littlest things, and of course, while I had the anger management problems, I didn't know what to do. I'd start late with mates, I'd get home late, my mum would be worried sick, I'd get home, oh, where were you? Oh, none of your business, don't talk to me. I basically didn't care about anyone else. To me, only I mattered, no one else mattered to me. Unfortunately, going through this, my mum was also diagnosed with depression, so of course all I wanted to do was, her son was just help her, but going through all my anger problems, struggling at school, I was on the verge of getting kicked out, it wasn't working, so something needed to change and happen. And I didn't realise it until one night I got in a little argument with my mum, and I sort of just snapped and I lost control, and it got to the point where she was that scared that she had to call the cops on me. And it was that moment, excuse me, where I realised something needed to change. So it was then, basically, one day, Mum was talking with my teachers at school. They were all trying to help me, and they brought up Menslink. I had no idea what Menslink was. So what's Menslink? How are they going to help me? So I ended up going in to Menslink, went in, sat down, had the meeting. They basically explained it all to me, what they do. They do the mentoring, the counselling. You meet up with other boys, other mentors. And it actually wasn't that bad. And I was like, maybe this can help me. So I joined the Mentee Mentor program. We went in, there was a series of, like a process where you go in, you meet all the mentors, you meet all the other mentees. And I met my mentor, Denis. Now, he wasn't my first choice, but I'm very glad that I ended up getting him. I did what most people do. I judged a book without even reading the first page. So basically I got Denis and we met up. At first we were both sort of scared and nervous, went through the process, we'd meet up for coffee. We went out to coffee once and I'd had a problem at school and we sat there for an hour and I just didn't say anything. Are you alright? Would you like a hot chocolate? Oh yes please. As I said, I didn't really have that male role model and it took me a bit to trust, but in my own head he proved that he was someone that could help, so we ended up going to more things together. Menslink does camps throughout the year. They also do meetups once a month or every couple of months, I think. And we started going to them and there were other boys and mentors that were sort of like us. There were other boys that it was just them and mum at home. So I sort of started to relate to them. But not before I had Denis, I didn't have that male role model to go to, but now I had Denis, I could talk to him about if I had a problem, no bigger how big or how small. Oh, I need help with a girl. Oh, I don't know what to do at school. But he was just there. So it was as simple as talking on a phone to last year we went on a holiday together. It was just that growth that we had. But also with Denis, Menslink and getting help at school, I got advised on tips to how to deal if I was going to snap in class. Tell the teacher, go outside, just cool down, just don't fly off the handle. But then when I used to argue with mum and when I used to argue with everyone, of course, it was just what I thought. I thought they meant this and they were out to get me. They meant something completely over there. So it gave me that perspective to actually stop, listen, process in my head what's been said, and there was no argument. There was no argument at all. It got to a point, this really sealed the deal for me, it got to a point where, I can't remember what it was, but for a whole month, Denis would text and he'd call me and I just ignored him. I would just blatantly ignore him, didn't even reply. This went on for a month, nearly 2 months, called, text, everything, no, nothing. One day he called or texted me and I actually responded. And I thought he was going to be angry, he'd be disappointed in me. No. Are you alright? What's been happening? He didn't judge me, he didn't get angry. And it was at that point where I realised he was a male role model that was going to stay in my life, and he wasn't just, not that my dad got up and left, but he's not just going to leave me and just not worry about me. So that sort of sealed the deal of saying that this guy, this is going to help me, which it did, and it has. But as a result of getting Denis and actually joining Menslink, things started getting better at school, getting better at home. I've always been quite confident with things I do, but then, as everyone knows, there's little things, even though you're confident, you're not confident about. Like, I wasn't confident about getting better, asking for help, but having Menslink, Denis and Martin and all the Menslink guys, they sort of gave me that little bit of confidence and just that little bit of hope that it's all I needed, that things would get better in the future. And when I started believing what they were saying to me, things, they got better. And it's just skyrocketed from there. So basically, about 6 years ago, I was in year 7, as I said. I had really bad anger management problems. I'd lash out at teachers. I was on the verge of getting kicked out of high school and I had nowhere to go. But then Menslink came along, Denis came along. I persuaded myself to sort of allow myself to get help. And as a result, I've gone the verge of getting kicked out of school. I ended up graduating high school at Campbell College with my Year 10 certificate. I then also went on to Arundel College, which I passed as well with my Year 12 certificate, which back in Year 7 I was not going to get, and everyone said, no, you're not going to get it, but I did. So I proved that wrong. And I've also got a job. I just sell shoes, but I've got a job and it's stable and I love it. And I remember Martin, before we started doing Sciences Daily, Martin spoke to me about the idea and asked if I'd get involved, and I jumped at it. I was like, wow, this is what the community in Menslink have done for me. This is my way of giving back. And that's what it's been. We went to the first ever school I spoke to, I was scared. Here I am, I'm going to tell my story. It was a big group, I think it was like 300 kids. I'm going to tell my story to all these, like my peers. And what are they going to judge me? Are they going to laugh at me? What's going to happen? But Martin sort of just looked at me and just winked and was just like, you'll be right, mate. And I got up, I spoke. I didn't talk for long, but I got over my fear of talking about my problems. And then now, nearly 2 years later, I've been to most of the schools, and it's now one of the best things I've ever done. Even though I was scared, and after doing the first talk, they gave me the confidence that I could do that. And without sort of starting that, and probably Menslink and Denis, I wouldn't be here today talking to you, so I'd be back in the little corner hiding from you all. But I hope that I've helped the kids I've spoken to as much as they've helped me. Unknowingly, we probably both helped each other heaps. Also, as a result of doing all this work, I got a phone call from Ben from Menslink saying, oh, hey mate, I've nominated you for the Young Achievement Award at the Young Campus Citizen of the Year. And that was huge for me. In Year 7, I would never have thought I'm going to get nominated for sort of this, not prestige, but to me, prestigious award about just the work I've done. I didn't think I'd done that much work. I'm just giving back, just doing what you sort of got to do to help people out. But unfortunately, I didn't win, but I was honest to be nominated. But in Barton's words, I didn't win because I'm from Queanbeyan. So that didn't really help me. On that note, I'd like to say a huge thank you to obviously all you guys for coming and taking the time to listen to me, and everyone else. Also, I'd like to thank Menslink just for being Menslink, just doing what they do in our community and just helping out young kids like me and even a kid that just needs to talk to someone. And it's just as simple as that. I'd like to thank Martin for giving me the opportunity to talk today, giving me the opportunity to do the Sciences Daily, and just sort of just taking the time out of his day to call me if I have a problem, or if he has a problem, or just being that person there. All the other staff at Menslink, you've been past and present, you've been huge for me, and I can't thank you enough. But on that note, I'd like to ask Denis Sargeant to stand up for me, please. When our journey began a couple of years ago, I didn't know you from a bar of soap, but now I feel like we're the best of mates. I can honestly say I wouldn't be here without you today. And I can't thank you enough for all you've done for me. Yeah, we had a scare a couple of months ago, but we've gotten over that, so we've got plenty of years in the future, obviously. I want another holiday to Queensland, so don't go anywhere. But on that note, I'd just like to thank you all for listening to me and giving me the opportunity to talk today. Thank you.